What's good, your 4-3 here back in today, and today guys, with E3 just around the corner, I wanted to sort of talk about my top 5 locations for where I believe Forza Horizon 4 is going to take place, because this is the question that is on everybody's mind, because we are all so excited about the next installment of Forza Horizon. At least I know I am, and I cannot wait for it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on into it. So to start things off, coming in at number 5, what we have Japan. Which, I'm also going to be real with you guys, Japan is the least likely on this list to actually be the location of the next installment of Forza Horizon. Because everyone and their mother really wants it to be Japan. There have been tons of fake leaks about it being Japan. In fact, like Aaron Greenberg, for example, he's one of those head honchos over there at Microsoft. He accidentally posted a picture that showed Forza Horizon 4 being Japan, and he had to come out and say, look, this isn't us, guys. This is a fan-made banner that I went ahead and posted, because he posted a banner on his Twitter account, and there was just a bunch of pictures of fake game covers, and one of them happened to be Forza Horizon 4, and everyone was like, Forza Horizon 4 Japan confirmed! And it was absolutely insane. He like came out very quickly. He's like, guys, it's not confirmed yet. Let's be real with ourselves here. And then on top of that, everybody has made a Japan trailer. Jack Ultramotive did one. And then another one I was watching the other day, some guy made a Japan trailer using nothing but Need for Speed Payback gameplay. And it's like, dude, no, just no. Why are you doing this? Like, I can see the nitrous and I can see all the license plates say Ghost. It is not real. And he was very adamant that it was real. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. But enough about that. Japan, though, would also be a phenomenal location for a Forza Horizon game, because honestly the map straight out of the box is very diverse. You have Mount Fuji, the snow cap of Mount Fuji, then you got the forest surrounding the mountain, plus you also got amazing cities like Tokyo to go ahead and explore, and on top of that, from a video game making standpoint, it already comes with natural borders, and that natural border is the Pacific Ocean. You're not going to be able to drive your car through the Pacific Ocean. So, honestly, you don't have to come up with ideas like, oh, we're going to put a mountain range here that makes absolutely no sense. Instead, we just have a massive ocean because we're on an island and it makes perfect sense. But on top of this, guys, why Japan would also be awesome is it's home of the JDM cars. You know, the set of cars that a lot of us fall in love with. I mean, I absolutely love cars like the 370Z, the 350Z, the GTR, the Sylvia S15, the Toyota Supra, the AE86. All these cars are some of the things that make a lot of people fall in love with cars initially, because they look great, they handle great, they're relatively inexpensive, and on top of that, Japan has a huge car culture. From their glitzy supercars, that's what I'm calling them, I don't know what they really call them, it's the chrome paint jobs and the crazy lights, to the Bosazuka style, and then they got those weird funky vans. Pretty much every car there imaginable gets some kind of modification at a point in its life. You know, not every car on the island does, but that type of car. Like, I'm sure that there's probably like lorries and semi-trucks that have these crazy modifications. In fact, I know it because I've seen some of these. It's just crazy over there, guys, and honestly, Japan would be a great location for a Forza Horizon game. However, though, I don't think it is going to be this time around. So next up, coming in at number 4, what we have is the United Arab Emirates. Now, everybody kept telling me the next place is going to be Dubai. It's going to be Dubai. I really hope it's Dubai. Okay, why do you want it to be just one city as our next location? Why not the entire country of the United Arab Emirates? Because if we just go to one city, that's going to be awfully boring. Imagine exploring around all of Forza Horizon 3 in just Surfers Paradise. That sounds awful, guys. I mean, Surfers was a cool town and all, but the whole game? Like, Dubai is really cool as well. Like, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff to do there. Plus, they've got amazing cars, but there's a lot more to offer in the United Arab Emirates than just the city of Dubai. Because, you know, they've got some agriculture going on. They also have this vast desert because the country is located in the Middle East, and there's a whole lot of desert there. And they've got some mountains in the northern part of the country, they've got some beaches, and on top of that, there is another huge car city known as Abu Dhabi, the home of Ferrari World. Like, seriously, why aren't people even talking about Abu Dhabi? That would be amazing. Imagine taking your 599XX for a stroll around Ferrari World. That sounds amazing to me, guys. But if we also go ahead and think about it this way, we have the Dubai circuit in Forza Motorsport 7. And if we go back and look at some of the past motorsport games, we got like the Brazil circuit, we had the Prague circuit, but none of these ended up actually being locations for another Horizon game, as of yet anyway. So I don't think Dubai and the United Arab Emirates is actually going to be a location, but it is still a possibility. Because Dubai is an amazing country, it's very luxurious, it's very lavish. I don't know what word to actually use there, but let's be straight up real. We already have the Dubai circuit in Motorsport 7, and I don't really see Playground Games going ahead and taking a circuit and turning it into a whole game. I mean, it'd be really cool and I would love it, but I don't just quite see it. So next up, coming in at number 3, what we have is we have China/Hong Kong. Now again, like Dubai, I am saying all of China instead of just Hong Kong because we need a little bit more diversity than just one city. And China has a lot of that because there's deserts in the eastern part of the country, there's mountains, there's forests, and China's got a lot of diversity because it is such a large country. But there is also something special about Hong Kong because a bunch of concept art recently got leaked for featuring Forza Horizon game in Hong Kong. But the thing is though, is a lot of these photos can be debunked. Yes, these are real photos, as they were actually posted on, I think it was like a LinkedIn page or something like that, by somebody who actually worked at Playground Games as a concept artist. And this was probably one of the locations that he worked on as a possibility for the original Forza Horizon game. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because if we actually go ahead and look at some of the cars, one of them doesn't exist anymore, which I'll get to that here in just a second, and a lot of them are kind of older. Like we see the original Audi R8, the Ferrari 599XX, and the Mazda Ferrari, which burned to the ground, so I don't see why we would actually be having this car in a Forza Horizon game. Plus, these cars are a little bit older, you know, I'm not exactly sure on the years, but it's at least 5 or so years, which kind of puts it in that realm of being a Forza Horizon game. Plus, the 599XX being in the concept art, although we've had the 599XX in other games, it played a major pivotal role in the original Forza Horizon game. Then if we go back and take a look at this photo right here, you'll actually see this balloon that has a Forza logo. However, this is the old Xbox 360 logo that was used for Forza games, because now we use this logo, which is a little bit slimmer, but it is almost exactly the same, but there are some different changes that were done to make this logo a little bit more appealing than sort of the old blocky fat logo. So with older cars and old logos, we now know that this concept art is probably rather old and dealt with the original Forza Horizon game. And on top of this, there is another big problem with China, and that is their car culture. So cars in China is something that is a relatively new phenomenon and really started back in the 1990s when the auto industry in China just sort of took off. Because before then, the auto industry in China was very low production numbers, around 100,000 to 200,000 cars per year total in the entirety of the country of China, which China has a huge population. So 100,000 to 200,000 cars really does not amount to a whole lot, and only the rich could really afford to own a car and drive it. So as well, once that kind of took off from there, a bunch of copycats from major brands started appearing in China. For example, this is a Range Rover Evoque. This thing costs $64,000. And then we have this right here, which is the Landwind X7, an almost identical body duplicate of the Range Rover Evoque. And in fact, in China, they actually sell kits to make it look more like a Range Rover that, you know, you just throw on a little bit more extra money. But the thing is, though, is that the Landwind only cost $21,000. But here's the kicker. It's not as luxurious, and it's definitely not as powerful, as it only has a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, putting out about 110 horsepower. It is slow, and this is pretty common throughout a bunch of other cars that are seen throughout China. They're duplicates of other major cars that are sold throughout the world. And it's something that I think Forza might have a difficult time selling to major brands, being like, hey, I know you guys have your Range Rover Evoque, but we're going to China. So one of the cars that's going to be driving around is this Landwind X7 that looks exactly like your Evoque. So can we still use the Evoque in the game? they're probably going to say no. And there's other cars like this. For example, there was one that just came out the other day that I was seeing on TopGear's website about the Lamborghini Urus. Someone in China has made a copycat of the Lamborghini Urus. However, though, it doesn't really look a whole lot like it from the front. You can kind of tell like the styling cues come from the Urus, but it's not really a Urus, and it's a whole lot slower just along with this landwind right here. It's absolutely crazy, and this is why I think Forza is going to have a hard time actually making China as a location for a Forza Horizon game, even though overall it would be amazing. And they could just say, you know, hey, to heck with it. We're going to go to China and we're going to use major brands. We're not going to use these copycat brands because that's stupid, even though that is the car culture that is China. So coming in at the number 2 spot, what we have is we have California. California knows how to party. Yeah, California has been leaked because back in Forza Horizon 2, when you went to actually go ahead and pre-order the game, there was something very interesting that it actually said on the screen, and I'm going to read it for you guys right now. Rule the open road from the breezy backcountry to the frenzied mean streets. Forza Horizon 2 gets you behind the wheel for an open road racing adventure like no other. Challenge your friends or go solo as you tear it up the roads of Southern Europe, plow through fields and forests in California, or smash down fences on the dirt trails in Australia. Your road, your rules. So now let's go ahead and think about this. So we got Southern Europe, Forza Horizon 2. Then they mentioned Australia, Forza Horizon 3. So what is this about California that is on the pre-order screen for Forza Horizon 2? What I think it is I believe it is going to be the next location of Forza Horizon 4, and we are going to California, which I am not too mad about. Because if you think about it, California has the redwood forest, they've got the coastline, some of the best driving roads in the world, but let's also be straight up honest with some of the major cities like Los Angeles and the heavy population. LA traffic, you know how the city's slow. It is just known for having terrible traffic, and I really hope that Forza doesn't try and duplicate some of this. But, I mean, that's kind of the big negative to California. Plus, they have their smog and all that sort of stuff and emissions regulations. It's really not a car-friendly place, but of course it is a place that we want to go ahead and drive a bunch of fast cars because California is known for being super luxurious and super wealthy because, again, you have Los Angeles, you have Beverly Hills, you have Hollywood, you have all these big places that are known for just having wealthy people. And also, homes in California are ridiculously expensive. Like, the house I live in Arkansas probably costs about $80,000. Not gonna lie to you, if I wanted to go ahead and buy it, I could probably buy it for that much. In California, the house I live in is $650,000. It is absolutely ridiculous. And in fact, I'm just like 20 hours away. Like, I mean, I can get to California in a day or two. I mean, it is absolutely crazy, and I don't really want to, you know, have to spend that much money to live there. Although, if I work there, of course, that's a different story. But, not going to get into that right now. And I would absolutely love to go to California. I really, really would. Because the redwood forest, again, like I said, you have the coast, there's some deserts, and the diversity around is pretty unique. There's a lot going on for it for a Forza Horizon game. And like I said at the beginning, California knows how to party. So finally, our last location is the United Kingdom. Now, the reason why I say this is because a couple of months ago, we had a huge leak that unfortunately I was not able to cover, where a bunch of British cars were revealed to be coming into Forza Motorsport 7. Which, if we go ahead and take a look back at Forza Motorsport 6, a bunch of Australian cars got leaked just before Forza Horizon 3 was announced. So, it was kind of like a sneak peek saying, hey, we're going to Australia. And in Forza Motorsport 7, if the path continues, then we're also going to be seeing, hey, we're going to the United Kingdom. And honestly, the United Kingdom will be a great location. It's very diverse, but I'm also going to throw in Northern Europe in this because honestly, that's going to add just a little bit more diversity. I may be wrong with this, but I'll get to why I think we might also see Northern Europe here in just a second. But as well, the United Kingdom is known for their love of cars and their love of Forza. I mean, just look at this. 2 of the greatest car shows on the planet are based out of the United Kingdom. You have TopGear and the Grand Tour because who doesn't love Jeremy, Richard, and James? Honestly, those guys are absolutely amazing. And as well, we go ahead and take a look at my YouTube analytics. 20% of my viewers come from the UK. That's absolutely crazy, guys. 20%! And only 47% come from America. But when you think about the population, the UK has about 65 million people. America has close to 400 million. That's absolutely insane, because when you think about that, 47% of my viewers are American, or, you know, I don't really want to do the maths here, but I mean, 20% are from the UK. That just doesn't add up, because that would mean, like, if we were to take the population density of people in the UK who watch my content and compare it to America, let's go up to 47% here. Well, then the population's only up to like 180 million, so you double that and so on and so forth. It just shows you that overall there are more people interested in Forza content on YouTube in the United Kingdom than there are in the States, or, you know, maybe they just like me better. I don't know. That could be the case. But still, it shows that there is a general love of Forza over across the pond, and honestly, that is pretty cool. I honestly would love to go to Great Britain someday and just explore around the UK. I really, really would love to do it. Honestly, sounds like a whole lot of fun. Now, let's also go ahead and talk about why I was thinking about Northern Europe. If you guys remember, in Forza Horizon 3, there is the construction site. Everybody just calls it the construction site, but it has a name, and that is West Point Towers. Now, if you actually go outside the construction site, you'll actually see a sign that looks very similar to this one right here that says West Point Towers coming soon. Now, if you look at the font of coming soon, it kind of looks like an announcement for a video game. It's not the same as West Point Towers. It's a little bit different. It's put in italics. It's special. And what I'm getting at here is in the Netherlands, in Tilburg, there is a tower called West Point Towers. It is the second highest residential building in the Netherlands. It used to actually be the tallest, but it was overtaken by another one. But that's kind of why I'm thinking here. But as well, we can also use West Point Towers to refer to a couple different locations. If we go back to our third location, which is Hong Kong, there's actually a tower in Hong Kong called the West Point. And then, of course, there's also the Army College here in the United States called West Point. So I might be wrong on this. And this was sort of my original idea was, hey, we're going to go to the Netherlands. That is a guarantee. That is where Forza Horizon 4 is going. I don't think that anymore, guys. Honestly, I'm leaning a lot more towards the United Kingdom, or California, or Hong Kong. Then there's also the United Arab Emirates and Japan sort of there in the background, but I'm not really counting on them too much, as really we haven't seen any information that says, hey, these are where these locations are going to be. But the other ones, we've kind of had a little bit of a leak or two here and there. And honestly, I do believe that that is what we are going to have. So but anyway though, that is where I'm going to go and wrap it up for today. Leave a comment down below and let me know which one of these locations you guys are most excited to see, as I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say. As well, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Grip13 and Instagram.com/Grip13. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know you're supporting, so greatly appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe for more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.